it's your Morala Omanut, Ava. So nice to be here with you this week. We have a really fun project, and it is a challah cover. As you know, challah covers are used on Shabbat to cover our challah. Why do we cover our challah? Let's think about that as we make our challah cover. As you know, on Shabbat, we do things in a special way, in a way that we don't do the rest of the week. So maybe the challah cover has something to do with that, with making Shabbat special. This is just made out of a handkerchief. You can use any old fabric you have laying around. I started with a white piece of fabric. This method that we're using this week is similar to a very traditional fabric textile art method called Batik, where they traditionally used wax to make their lines, painted the fabric, and then removed the wax. And you can see where the lines were covered with wax, or in this case, we're using glue. The paint does not go, so it will keep the paint away and it will leave it the original color of the fabric, which in my case was white, so my lines are white. It can also be called a resist technique because the glue or the wax resists the paint and in this way makes the line. You can see my challah cover says Shabbat Shalom. Can you see where it says Shabbat Shalom? Yeah, it says it right here, Shabbat Shalom. And what I decided to do for my decorative visual element was put some other Aleph Bet letters around the Shabbat Shalom. There's a story in Genesis, in the creation story. God creates the world in 7 days. God works really hard to create the world in 6 days. And then on the 7th day, God rests, right? Shabbat. God commands us to rest on our 7th day because we work so hard during the week, and we need a moment to take a break and appreciate the work that we've done, appreciate each other, appreciate relaxing. In Genesis, God says, "Let there be light," and there was light. So a lot of Jewish scholars say that God created the world with words. And words, because the Torah was written in Hebrew, right? Words are made up of the Aleph Bet. So in a way, you could say that these letters are the building blocks of our world according to the Torah. So that's why I decided to use the Aleph Bet as my inspiration for my challah cover. Other ideas are actually depicting the 6 days of creation, right? Light and dark, the sun, moon, and stars, plants, land and sky, and sea, the fish and birds, and then humans, Adam and Eve, right? Another idea would be to decorate your challah cover with things that you do on Shabbat or say on Shabbat. So lighting candles, right? Eating challah, maybe you could draw challah, drinking wine, so maybe you could put a wine glass or a grape juice glass. And what else? Maybe being at home with family, maybe singing or dancing or praying. So lots of ideas, and of course feel free to come up with your own too. So I'm going to show you how we're going to make our challah cover. First, sketch out your design on paper with pencil, and make sure your paper is the same size as your fabric. And then go over your pencil with a big black marker so you can see it through the fabric and trace it later. You want really simple, bold images because you're going to have to trace this in glue, so you don't want anything too detailed or small. And now you're going to place your fabric over the paper. You can tape it down if you want. and you're going to trace it with your blue gel Elmer's glue. Now let your glue dry. Once it's dry, you can start painting, and I'm using watered down acrylic paint. You can use watered down tempera paint. Just make sure it's not the washable kind, because then when you wash it, all your painting will come out. You can use fabric paint. You can use Sharpie mixed with water. But I do add water, and that's important because we want the paint to spread on the fabric. Okay, so now I am going in and I'm going to paint my letters, paint my shapes. And as you can see, because it's watered down, the paint spreads and fills in the letter all the way up to the glue line and then stops at the glue line. That's the magic of this glue resist. You can mix colors, make it kind of tie-dye-y if you want, or just make solid blocks of color. Just put a lot of paint on there if you want it to be really bright. Okay, and now I'm filling in my background. As you can see, the paint spreads and stops at the glue line, so it doesn't mix with the colors inside the letters. Filling the whole thing, and I'm going to let it dry. Oh, and I decided to go over my Shabbat Shalom in white because I wanted it to stand out more than it was with the gold. Okay, so once it's dry, you can wash it out in warm water, and you want to scrape or rub off the glue on the lines. So the warm water will help melt the glue. And here's the finished product. I let it dry and ironed it. Thanks so much, Omanut, for joining me. I can't wait to see your challah covers. Please send me pictures. And of course, if you have any questions, please also send those to me. And see you later. Lehitraot and Shabbat Shalom.